Hello, I'm back. This is Teresa from 11th Hour Shaman's Cup of Tea podcast. Welcome. Is it super weird that I don't have music? I'm not tech savvy, so this is what we get until I decide to learn something new in the tech world. But this is the show where we discuss everything shamanism and spiritual because I totally believe you can heal anything you want to when you partner with spirit, plants, and purpose. When I say plants, I mean all the plants. And I'm an herbalist. And so, specifically, a lot of times I'm talking about the herbal support we have for our physical bodies, but also our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. So, I'm your hostess, Teresa Gutierrez, a shamanic practitioner and the owner of 11th Hour Shaman. It is time to nestle in with your favorite cup of tea and soak in the nourishment of today's episode. It's pretty unique. At least that's my perspective. So I think it was last week, could have been the week before, I posted an episode called The Illusion, and it's basically part one. And I put an age restriction on it because although I had this dream that I believe is universally supportive for all of us, and it's about Maya, the illusion, I used a story from my past, my childhood, that I don't think is appropriate for children to listen to. Not that I went into huge detail, but it's just a heavier topic, and I didn't want people to listen to it while kids are in the room. And so I'm going to put the link to part one in the show notes below, but I really wanted to use that example because having that miraculous perception shift about the illusion that we can't see through about our past and our traumas, having that perception shift is a miracle that is so healing and so powerful and completely possible. A lot of people don't think it's possible to heal the layers of our past. And I completely believe it is. And I have had amazing, miraculous, loving experiences around healing the past because spirit showed me a way through the illusion into a higher truth, a higher perspective of this thing that we call Earth life. So, after my dream, and remember, if you did hear that episode, the entire dream was a song, a repetitive song. The only part I remember was this one phrase: Maya, you're an illusion. Look at my problem and help me. Maya, you're an illusion. Look at my problem and help me. So I made a podcast of this, part one. And then after that, I had an archangel show up from my client, which got me looking through my book, Angel Prayers, written by Kyle Gray, which then led me to buying the Oracle card deck of his, Kyle Gray's, based on his book of Angel Prayers. So I received the angel cards, and then I gave myself an angel card reading right away. And of course, there's many different types of card readings, angel card readings, oracle card readings. And for this one, I really felt drawn to do the 9 card spread. which is this overall view of one's life, home and family, love life, and purpose, path, career, that sort of thing. And holy smokes, I, of course, prayed and I felt the angels guiding my hands. I could feel the pulsating yes, and I could feel the prickly ow, no energies. And I chose my 9-card spread, which of course I decided ahead of time. When we give ourselves card readings or others, we want to know ahead of time how many cards we're going to pull for this particular person, and then intuitively know, ah ha ha, we need more information here, so we're going to ask for more cards here. But my point is, we decide ahead of time so they know what we're working with, where they can draw us to that would be most effective. So super powerful. Holy smokes. Wowzer wow. It was crazy how spot on it all was. This is a 44 card deck, and 4 of these cards were archangels showing up in my reading. And right on the top row was Archangel Jeremiel, whose name means God's mercy. His card was calling me to forgiveness. So I read all about it and I was blown away again because in Kyle Gray's book of angel prayers, and speaking of Jeremiel specifically, the topic of forgiveness and mercy are deeply steeped in the concept of the great illusion, the great Maya. So Kyle said a message from Jeremiel is, if you're ready to forgive others and ultimately yourself and acknowledge any painful situations as illusions, you are free. Jeremiel is inviting us to turn our regrets and grievances into illusions. The illusions arise from a state of fear, and yet only love is real. This whole book, I have to say, super great. I suggest and recommend everybody get it. And if you want to connect with angels and understand them and their unique energies or abilities, their places of strength where they love to help and support us, then I suggest this book. Now, that being said, topic of forgiveness and our past. Now, this could be the past from 5 minutes ago. This could be the past from yesterday or last week. It could be the past from 50, 70 years ago. I don't know. I don't know how old you are and how long maybe you might still be feeling a lot of suffering, pain, grief, negative self-belief, like all the things that happen with traumas from the past, or just painful events and situations. And I certainly never want people to feel the need to spiritually bypass our human experiences. So I don't want you to feel like I'm asking you to give up all your grievances and just spiritually bypass your human experience. If you still need to digest your experiences and emotions that are associated with it, digesting is really important in order to honor this earth life that we signed up for. But we also don't want to remain stuck in the moment of victimhood and carry that energy and perception into our sacred futures. I want to be free. I think most people do. I could be wrong. I think deep, 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 deep down, we all want to be free. We want to experience our power and connection with Source. So I choose to give up any grievance, blame, resentment, anger. I will always choose to give up any position of disempowerment in order for me to feel free to feel peace and to feel love in my very own body. This does not always come quickly, and it doesn't always come easily. And in part, that's because we need to feel our feelings all the way through to the other side. Honor that human experience, acknowledge your perception of this earthly experience, and feel those feelings, and then invite spirit to help you root it out and fill you up with light instead, fill you up with illumination instead, divine perception instead. So I want to read from the book called The Choice by Dr. Edith Eva Eger. This is from pages 7 through 8. I haven't finished the book, but just these pages alone is enough to say, oh my goodness, you might want to read this. She survived the Holocaust as a child. And so this is what she says. I quote Edith here. My own search for freedom and my years of experience as a licensed clinical psychologist have taught me that suffering is universal, but victimhood is optional. There's a difference between victimization and victimhood. We are all likely to be victimized in some way in the course of our lives. At some point, we will suffer some kind of affliction or calamity or abuse caused by circumstances or people or institutions over which we have little or no control. This is life. And this is victimization. It comes from the outside. It's the neighborhood bully, the boss who rages, the spouse who hits, the lover who cheats, the discrimination, the discriminatory law, the accident that lands you in the hospital. In contrast, victimhood comes from the inside. No one can make you a victim but you. We become victims not because of what happens to us, but when we choose to hold on to our victimization. We develop a victim's mind, a way of thinking and being that is rigid, blaming, pessimistic, stuck in the past, unforgiving, punitive, and without healthy limits or boundaries. We become our own jailers when we choose the confines of the victim's mind. I want to make one thing very clear, Edith says. When I talk about victims and survivors, I am not blaming victims, so many of whom never had a chance. I could never blame those who were sent right to the gas chambers or who died on their cot, or even those who ran into the electric barbed wire fence. I grieve for all people everywhere who are sentenced to violence and destruction. I live to guide others to a position of empowerment in the face of all of life's hardships. She goes on to say, I also want to say that there is no hierarchy of suffering. There's nothing that makes my pain worse or better than yours, no graph on which we can plot the relative importance of one sorrow versus another. People say to me things like, things in my life are pretty hard right now, but I have no right to complain. It's not Auschwitz. I think this kind of comparison can lead us to minimize or diminish our own suffering. Being a survivor, being a thriver, requires absolute acceptance of what was and what is. If we discount our pain or punish ourselves for feeling lost or isolated or scared about the challenges in our lives, however insignificant these challenges may seem to someone else, then we're still choosing to be victims. We're not seeing our choices. We're judging ourselves. I don't want you to hear my story and say, my own suffering is less significant. I want you to hear my story and say, if she can do it, then so can I. End quote. I think that is such a perfect description of balance between honoring our human experience and then seeking healing. So for me personally, I will not neglect or ignore my past traumas, but I also won't be a victim to them forevermore with no plan and no end in sight. I honor my human experience. I feel my feelings all the way through to the other side. I invite and receive divine support to remove the root cause of this painful emotion and then fill me up with light again to help me forgive myself and others, to help me see love in action, to help me see through the illusion of Maya, to help me find and create peace, healing, and a higher meaning to my own life and my purpose in being here. I survived for a reason. I was born for a purpose. So were you. I am both a fragile and flawed human and a resilient and brilliant person with an omnipotent soul connected to source always, loved by my angels always, and so are you. This is a message or prayer that I felt come through me as I was pondering my angel card reading and connecting with Archangel Jeremiel and Kyle Gray's book and just this whole concept of Maya, the illusion that came through my dream. And the first sentence that I felt come through me, like I said, I feel like this was more of a channeling than my own self. It was almost like Jeremiel was speaking to me and through me. Here's what it is. I heard, allow yourself to be humbled. When you see through the illusion of your suffering, you will be humbled. It's okay. You're okay. It's okay to be humbled. As the illusion of your victimhood, your suffering, your resentments and blame, the actual harm your human body and psyche endured. Allow God's source to reach into your experience and illuminate your understanding from a much deeper and higher perspective and purpose. Suffering is an opportunity to seek God, to seek peace within, to seek angelic support and receive it, to seek the oneness and feel infinity in your body. It's awful, of course, in the moment of victimhood or victimization, shall I say. But we are fully capable of being healed and healing wholly through divine miracles, through the perception shift. Call on Archangel Jeremiel, call on the divine or your elevated ancestors, your entire spirit family to help you, to surround you, to heal you, to guide your steps, your path in your healing process. Invite them to fill in the gaps of your abilities. Thank them as if it were already done. Thank you, angels, for illuminating my understanding of my life and healing my mind and heart of tragedy and trauma. Thank you, angels, for loving me so much and always being with me in my ups and downs. Thank you, angels, for guiding me to the earthly help I need right now and giving me the courage and fortitude to do the work to heal myself. I trust you are getting me from here to there, where I want to be. I trust in my wholeness with God's source. I trust in my oneness with spirit always. Now open me to see it, to feel it, to know it, and heal me now. I now open the gates to the angelic realm to work with me under grace in perfect ways. Call on the law of grace when you feel you don't have the strength in you or the ability within. Call on the law of grace. Thank you, angels, for helping me understand Maya, the illusion, and the true purpose of it. I am a creator with you. I am here to create, and I create healing with you now. Thank you, angels, for loving every part of me now and helping me see my power and my wholeness through your eyes today. Thank you, angels, for loving me as I am in every moment, as I grow, as I fall, as I get up again, fast or slow, it doesn't matter. I am whole in my eccentricities. I am whole in my quirks. I am whole in my trauma responses. Wholly lovable as I am, always. Forgiveness is possible when I see through your eyes. Forgiveness is possible for myself and for others when I feel you with me, seeing through me. I love you, angels. I love you, elevated ancestors. I love you, God Source. Thank you for helping me see that life is a miracle. My life is a miracle. My entire life is a gift of exquisite art, and I am gifted. I was created on purpose, and I use my gifts on purpose. I choose to heal and grow into my gifts more powerfully so that I may enjoy a new experience of my own life. But not because I have to in order to be better or good enough. I choose to heal and grow simply because I want to. Thank you for being with me and loving me through it all. And so it is. Amen and Ashe. Well, that's it for today's podcast. A little message with a very long prayer. So I really appreciate you joining me today. I truly feel so honored that you're tuning in. I'm here for you and yours. You can book a free consultation to work with me for angel readings, angel guided healings, in person or long distance. You can email me at teresa@11thhourshaman.com, which of course is in the show notes. I'm so looking forward to hearing from you. Until next time, be in the prayer. Your life is a prayer. Let's be our realest selves and move towards our dreams, one guided step at a time. Big squishy hugs till then. Bye.